name's Erin Edelbeck, and I'm here today to talk about the importance of not banning books in our public libraries and school libraries. The history of book banning is extensive. The Catholic Church banned Copernicus' writings for claiming the sun was at the center of the solar system. Nazi Germany banned countless books, including Scott Fitzgerald, Aldous Huxley, Hemingway, and James Joyce. The McCarthy era in America in the mid-20th century banned books such as The Grapes of Wrath, 1984, and Animal Farm. Certain groups even attempted to ban Robin Hood for having socialistic qualities. For most of my life, book banning was taught to me as something that has happened in the past, in dark spaces in human history which we have, as a society, surpassed. Yet as of late, we are seeing a resurgence of banning texts from school libraries. PEN America has documented nearly 23,000 book bans in public schools nationwide since 2021. Number never before seen in the life of any living American. Tolan, 2025. These numbers are astronomical. Are we as a society regressing into the fear tactics seen in the Cold War? What is happening that books are being pulled off library shelves? And what freedoms are at stake in the wake of these actions? In Florida, a children's book was pulled off school shelves for depicting a baby penguin with two dads. This innocuous children's book is merely showing an actual reflection of reality. Penguins of same-sex pairs have been reported to adopt abandoned eggs and raise them. How have we gotten to the point that the depiction of two penguins saving an abandoned egg is considered inappropriate for children to be exposed to? The American Library Association released data documenting attempts to censor books and materials in public school and academic libraries during 2024. The data shows that the majority of book censorship attempts are now originating from organized movements, pressure groups, and government entities that include elected officials, board members, and administrators. Initiated 72% of demands to censor books in schools and public libraries. Book ban data, 2023. In certain districts, any depiction of LGBTQ is being deemed pornographic and being banned. They are also pulling Stephen King novels off the shelf at a fast rate for seemingly graphic sections. In Utah, Sarah Moss and Judy Blume are being pulled off the library shelves for claims of having too sexual content. I believe that our American citizens whom are under 18 should be subject to some censorship rules, which often are like those that keep too graphic or pornographic materials off shelves. But these censorship rules, which often have undefined criteria, are being used by interest groups to ban books based on their own agendas. Books containing LGBTQ romances are being banned because they are being deemed pornographic by religious interest groups. Roughly 1 in 7 people in the United States is in a public education system. This is quite a large number of people whom this ban impacts. What influence on collective thought does restricting access of information to an entire generation do? What moral and ethical implications are we teaching children by telling them, hey, this book is banned. It is not good. What it teaches is not good. Though it may not seem like a big deal to those it does not affect, the ideologic seeds planted by these book bans can resonate throughout the social structure, putting minority groups at risk, justifying hate propaganda, justifying religious and political movement made against minority groups. The ironic thing to me is that the juxtaposition of this recent increase in censorship compared to the complete lack thereof online. If these groups want to keep minors from being exposed to pornography, they should demand accurate age verification software online. They should focus on making the internet safe for minors rather than stripping the library shelves of books, which mainly offer empathy, perspectives, and understanding of how minority groups are and how they live. Books like Sold, which is about human trafficking, inform us of how some people are treated in some parts of the world. It makes us understand that there are still problems in humanity that must be reconciled. It informs and calls attention to a reality. Its purpose isn't pornographic. It's a story of someone's reality. Over-controlling the information our children are exposed to limits their perspectives, puts blinders on them to the experience of others. The stories people tell are important. They teach us much about and expand our understanding of humanity as a whole. I fear what the American perspective will look like in the future if we allow our library shelves to become whitewashed. If we continue to let these bills pass and allow our access to information to be limited, we are going to lose our freedom of speech. The First Amendment, the ideals upon which America was founded, protects our freedom to information. Our freedom to information directly impacts our freedom of thought. I believe these values are important to America, the idea of what America stands for. But there is some hope. In California and Illinois, they have preemptively passed anti-book banning laws. AB 1078 and HB 2789. These laws protect the First Amendment and make it harder for interest-based groups to pull books off the shelves based on their own classifications. California's Assembly Bill 1078 is written to help prevent discrimination based on content. The statute, passed in 2011, requires instructional materials to accurately portray the history, viewpoints, and experiences of California's diverse and underrepresented racial, ethnic, and other groups, including LGBTQ and Californians. Fensterwald, 2023. In Illinois, the approach taken is to cut off funding of public libraries if they don't follow certain rules. Instead of directly prohibiting book bans in school and public libraries, it effectively cuts funding if a library removes material because of partisan or doctrinal disapproval. Libraries that could lose eligibility for state grants. Gantz, 2025. I want to live in a world where my children have access to the same books I had growing up. I want them to be able to read about LGBTQ identities and have the freedom to access information. If we act now, we can protect our library, bookshelves, and freedom of speech. Things that you can do is promote these books at home. Make sure your child knows that they're in a safe space to read whatever they want. You can write your elected officials, sign petitions, and vote for people who won't ban books. Thank you for taking your time listening to me.